everybody. I wanted to give you an update on our red wigglers that we put in our freezer. We had this freezer outside and it's getting cold, so we brought them inside. We had some escapees trying to climb up the wall, and we figured out it was because I was overfeeding them.
You were overfeeding?
Yes,
That's crazy to think
I
of.
love to feed everybody, especially all of my watermelons and stuff like that. So the melons started decomposing in here, and the worms were like, we're out of here, and they started climbing up the walls. So Jerry and I, this afternoon, we moved this into the garage, and we've been cleaning it out. We're taking out all the corrugated cardboard, which they can live on, and inspecting in between each piece. And I know this isn't for everybody, but every time we find a wiggler, we squeal, and we're so excited. And we're moving them into their temporary housing, which is leaves from the peach tree and then some melons I turned over just to get them started here. But you can see, let me see if I can find another guy. And we've got to inspect through. So all of this dark here, that's the worm castings. And we're moving them into here. Jerry, show them. This is going to go into our compost bin. There's no worms in here. Just castings and scraps of decomposed vegetables that they were overfed, and the corrugated cardboard. That'll be beautiful. But all of this is castings, and this is good worm poop, to be clear. This is what made my garden last year so fabulous, and we bought it. And move up a little bit, Jerry, so that I can find some worms for you. Actually, instead of going through these, and I have to go through these very carefully because I don't want to put any worms,
Like that.
there we go, into my compost outside. They will die. Anything under 40 degrees is too cold for these guys. So this guy, I'm taking him out of this and putting him into his temporary housing until we clean this out. And let's take a look inside here, Jerry. I'll show you. So we have this light shining because they don't like the light, and that makes them go to the bottom. So here I can get all of these worms and put them into their temporary house until I make a whole new bed in here and get all of these veggie scraps and all of their castings out of here so that I can get them into my compost. And starting over this worm bin, we're going to wash all this out, put new leaves and some composted soil in the bottom. And then behind there, I don't know if they can see that, there's a drain in this freezer, and we've got all of this beautiful compost tea behind there. I don't know if they can see that.
There it is.
There it
You
is.
can see the reflection.
And I'm going to feed some of my indoor plants that compost tea and save it for my garden to feed. My garden, all these beautiful microbes that these worms are producing for us for absolutely hardly any cost at all. Just the initial investment in the worms and an old broken freezer that we found on
Craigslist.
So, fun project if you don't mind getting a little dirty. I mean, put some gloves on. It smells pretty bad because I overfed them, but I won't do that again. And I'm so grateful that these worms hung in there while I get through the learning curve of having this red wiggler farm to feed my garden. I should mention the organic worm castings from Organic Solutions was what fueled my garden this last summer. And if you're not into, you don't want to do this because this isn't for everybody. This Jerry and I, we're totally into everything from scratch. If it's out there, we want to make it ourselves. We want to do it ourselves. We're those kind of people. But those organic worm castings from Organic Solutions, you can buy them. Just order them from them by mail, and then they'll deliver them straight to your house. You don't have to go through this, but oh my gosh, I love getting down to the nitty-gritty, back to the roots of everything that I do, from now milling my own wheat for my bread. It's just super rewarding for me, and I have the time to do this because, you know, you guys, I don't sleep. I don't stop. I don't sit still until I eat, and then I pass out, and I sleep well at night, and I'm up in the morning back to it. I love learning. I love trying. And I love experimenting, and I'm so grateful that these worms held out through my learning curve and experimenting with them to make a great home for them with all of my organic veggie scraps that I've learned. You don't need very many out. They love corrugated cardboard. They eat that too. Take care.
And best of health.